Welcome back to Metals, Money, and Markets for week ending Friday the 13th, 2017. I'm Rob Goodman from Mining Clips, and with me as always, the Mercenary Geologist, Mickey Fulp. We'll break this all down. Mickey, it's Friday the 13th. Not a lot of blood on my screen, but I think working on some tax cuts and possibly repealing Obamacare with a Rand Paul plan are certainly an assist. Some big stories along with the Fed. Let's get right into it here, where the metals had a really nice rally this week.
They did. Gold was up over 2% to close at 1303. Silver 3.5% at 1736. Platinum had a nice week, up 3.5% to 944. And the big winner once again, palladium is surging, up 7% to close at 979. The platinum to gold ratio is still at 0.72, made a little uptick over the last couple of weeks, but the platinum to palladium ratio is now down to 0.96 once again, levels not seen for a long time.
And the copper train keeps on moving.
Well, it did. It consolidated below $3, which I predicted it would do, and it couldn't stay below $3 very long, and it did not, about 3 weeks. Closed the week at 310 for a almost 4% gain. We've seen most of the industrial metals, world traded ones that is, very strong. Zinc and lead at near 5 and or 10 and 5-year highs, 6-year highs. So I would put palladium into that ballpark too. One thing that's really moved the industrial metals, there are now 3 online trading platforms for moving concentrates to smelters. So that's become very transparent, and you're basically cutting out the middleman. And so it's been very bullish for metals.
And heading over to the energy markets, oil recovered its last week's losses with a solid gain this week.
Yeah, there's lots of things going on in the oil markets. Number one, the Trump scuttling the Iran nuclear deal that Obama to shoot in, a couple of years ago, I guess. Oil finished at 51.36, up 4%. U.S. rigs down another 8 rigs this week, so they're off 20 rigs since the end of July. There's a rumor now that Saudi Arabia is not going to spin out publicly 5% of Aramco. They're going to sell that privately to sovereign wealth funds. That's a bit curious. The Brent to WTI ratio is very high yet, $6 spread, which is making U.S. exports very attractive in the world market now at 2 billion barrels per day. And then finally, that oil markets, the Chinese, the Saudis, and the Ruskies are trying to make a petro-yuan. So the Chinese are setting up crude oil futures to be done in yuan and convertible to gold. That certainly is bullish for gold. It's not so bullish for the U.S. dollar.
Yeah, speaking of that U.S. dollar, the winning streak was broken this week. Euro and Loonie had decent weeks against.
Well, I think the dollar got oversold a bit, and it needed to fill in the gap. So it's done that over the last week or so. Closed the week at 93.08, down 0.8%. But there was some things going on in the market too. Down on the Fed meeting minutes, where they're basically saying that due to low inflation, the December rate increase is doubtful. The euro rallied a bit, closed at 118. A couple of things going on there. They're cutting their bond buying by half in 2018, supposedly. The German elections, where Merkel did not get, although she won handily, her party did not do very well. So you're looking at coalition government probably in Germany. And then the secession of Catalan from Spain, that issue weighed on the euro. The loonie basically the same. It closed at 80 cents and change, up 0.4%.
And finishing up with those markets, not much going on here, but all in the black again.
Well, perking right along, the Dow closed today 1 point off its all-time high. All these all-time highs set on Wednesday. 2553 for the S&P 500, 2% off its all-time high, and NASDAQ finished at its all-time high at 6606. There's many reasons for these bullish trends to continue. The Dow Industrials and Transports both at record highs. Emerging market countries, markets are surging. Copper is surging, which is always a leading economic indicator with a PhD in economics. And then low interest rates, which is very favorable for business expansion. And finally, as you mentioned, Trump quit Obama's Iran deal, and that took a few points off the market late in the day.
And but then up at the venture, quite a solid week here and a good little 3-week run.
Yeah, it's kind of gotten out of its muckety-muck performance that we saw all the time during the summer doldrums. Closed the week at 797, up over 1%. We've seen upticks in most days for the last couple of weeks on value. And today we finally saw an uptick in volume, 89 million shares traded. That broke an 8-day streak of when it traded between 74 and 79 million shares. So some positive looks from the junior resource sector. It always tends to track gold in one way or the other.
Okay, my friend, we'll keep our eye on the wire and see what the backlash is on Trump's strong, aggressive words towards Iran, and appreciate the insight as always, Mickey.
All right, thanks a lot, Rob.